Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Construction Corner podcast. Today, we are going to have a quick real talk, hot take, just me on the mics today. Dillon is off at his 100-mile race event, which I'm sure we will talk about here in episodes coming up. So let's get right into it. I wanted to talk today about the importance of planning your weeks, planning your attack, all things planning related. And how truly important it is to take some time to kind of structure out what you are about to face, what's coming ahead, whether that be work life, personal life, sporting events, you name it, man. I mean, there's a lot we could get into here, and we're going to keep it fast today because I don't have a lot of time. So I'm going to tell you what I do. So obviously, I run a construction company. There are vast amounts of things that we have to plan. Things we have to strategize for, things we have to plan for with our weeks, with our crews, with our different projects, which, we'll get into that also. But the basic premise is you have the option here to either set yourself up for true success, or you can kind of fly by night and just hope that you get where you want to go. The latter of the two options rarely actually works that way. So the best way I find to do this, and I do it typically on Sunday afternoons, and frankly, we've turned this into a family event now. Individually, we all do this, not as a team, not as a family group, but we all take some time on Sunday afternoons and sit down and really sketch out what this next week ahead is going to look like. And doing this allows me personally to basically see where and when I am overbooked. In my line of work and in my role at the company, getting overbooked is very easy to do. It happens quite frequently, and it's a pain in the ass, right? It results in having to cancel meetings with people or always feeling stressed and anxious. None of the above are good places to be. So taking this, half hour, 2 hours, whatever it takes every week before my week really gets rolling, it allows me to kind of set the stage for a productive and efficient week ahead with as minimal disruptions as I can feasibly avoid ahead of time, right? The best part about life is that nothing is guaranteed, nothing is for sure. Things come up, right? Things change, and you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to pivot and change. But if you start your week planned out, sketched out, ready to rock, knowing exactly where you're supposed to be and when for every day ahead of you, you have a much better chance of being actually able to pivot and change should those unfortunate things come up. And they do come up every day. Last week is a great example for me. I sat down on Sunday, sketched out my entire week. I had all 5 days ahead planned on where my meetings are, where I had to be, this, and this. And lo and behold, almost every single day exploded. I think Monday was okay. Tuesday was half-ass. By the time Wednesday came around, I had to clear my schedule. Both my director of operations and myself had to clear our schedules Wednesday morning and Thursday morning. We ended up spending collectively about 6 hours in total in meetings that were unexpected, unplanned. But that's the shit of this, man. That's the reality. Things come up, and you have to be willing and able to kind of bounce step and rephase and get back in the game. And so that's what we did. Now, what happens then is obviously there's things that get kind of kicked on down the line, things that get moved, and not necessarily because they're not important, but there are certain aspects of what we do at the construction company that will be of highest importance at all times. In this case, it was meetings with a client, a very high profile and current client of ours, and then also with his attorney. Anytime you get attorneys involved, God bless them, they like to talk and they like to stretch out that fee time. So you better plan ahead when you know that you have meetings with attorneys coming up. So that was what happened to us. We basically had to wash essentially 2 days. And what else happens when you do that, and when you get into an intense meeting that's 2 or 3 hours long, where you're actively involved the whole time. You're not just a listening participant. You are actively engaged in the entire thing. You're strategizing, you're planning, you're talking, you're leading. All of these things happen. When you get done with that meeting, especially when it wasn't planned and when you didn't have the foresight and the days ahead to really structure your attack and to quote unquote plan your attack. When you get finished with that, it's almost a drained feeling with me anyways. And I could be different. I know I'm different in a lot of ways. But what happens to me is I get out of those meetings and man, I'm just spent. Like my head's done. I want to just put my feet up. I want to go whatever. And can't always do that obviously because there's still shit that has to get done. But what happens is the caliber of work that I am capable of producing before those meetings versus the caliber after those meetings is drastically different. So again, coming out of those meetings, I have to readjust, repivot, replan the rest of my day because I know that the activities, the tasks I have to do that are super high level, super strategic, very, very involved, it's not a good idea for me to try and squeeze those in now in this block of time I've got left in the day because my mental capacity is just not there. You got to know your own limits. That's key to this thing too, is you have to know when you just need a break or when you need to focus on lower level activities, right? I own the company. I am the leader of the company. There are various things I have to do on a daily basis that are highly, highly strategic and take a shit ton of mental capacity and focus and really driven mental time, okay? But there's still also things I have to do on a daily basis that don't really take that same level of clarity that I can tackle those things when I'm tired or when I'm not at my best. This all goes back to planning, right? When you know ahead of time you have big meetings coming up, those are the best because if you have the option to plan what time of day they are, well, that's the cat's ass there because you can plan to have those meetings when you are typically at your mental best. For me, it's in the morning, right? Because of my morning routine, which we've talked about a little bit, but I have a very structured, very rigorous morning routine that I do not break for any circumstances unless I absolutely have to. Because of that, by the time I get into my office, whether it's here at HQ2 or it's in Brighton at the main office, I'm ready to fucking rock, man. I am ready to go. I'm jacked up. I'm firing on all cylinders. If I have to do a big meeting, I want it right now. Let's go. Dive right in, get it done, get it moving, and then move on to the next thing. By the time I get to the next thing, I know that, okay, now my levels are starting to drop a little bit. I'm starting to condense back into normal mat mode, if you will. And so I will stack my afternoons with the things that don't require as much of a focus. I can't think of an example right now because my head's going all over the place, but you get the point. There's tasks that require specific, driven, absolute accountable focus, and there's tasks that you don't have to be as on top to meaningfully handle them. So part of that is you got to figure out what to do and how you best work. So back to my week last week. So Monday and Tuesday were fine. Wednesday and Thursday were brutal, just brutal. We had these same very long meetings both days. It meant that a lot of things got pushed off down the list, and things that would actually require that high level of clarity, that high mental focus, I knew I couldn't do it. So I shoved them off. I shoved Wednesday's crap off onto Thursday, and then Thursday happened, so I shoved Thursday's crap onto Friday. Now, here's the kicker in all of this. Best laid plans seldom actually work out the way you think they're going to. So even with this restructured, this pivoting that I had to do, I constantly replan, right? I constantly am replanning my week because all my shit has to get done. I will not leave things incomplete that have to get done on a given week. So I had my Friday morning completely stacked now with things that got shoved off from Wednesday, got shoved off from Thursday. It's time to get back into it and make this shit happen. Thursday night, friggin' Stormageddon rolls into my neck of the woods. There were torrential downpours, the likes that I have literally not seen since I was a small child. I mean, this shit was raining. We must have got 4 inches of rain in about an hour. I mean, it was coming in sideways. It was raining so hard and so heavy. It was coming underneath my door wall in the basement. We had to put towels up. Tornado sirens were going off. There were tornadoes touched down locally. We, thank God, were really unaffected by the heavy winds, but we did have some friends within our general vicinity that took a beating, man. A buddy of mine took a tree through his roof. You know, this shit was, it was a bad storm. Well, what it did to us, aside from soaking everything, it killed the power. And we've kind of talked about this, Dillon and I, before. Where I'm located, we are the end of the road, literally and figuratively. We're the end of the road. We're the end of the circuit for DTE, which is our local electrical provider. So when really bad storms come in and when really bad outages happen, we are not going to be top on the list to get re-energized, if you will, to get plugged back in. So power goes out. Once everything kind of cleared, the storms cleared and passed, I was able to go to sleep. We were all able to go back upstairs out of the basement and go to bed. And I just kind of had this hope in my head that by the time I woke up on Friday morning, shit would be back on, lights are on, you know, yada, yada, yada. That didn't happen. So by the time I woke up Friday morning, which luckily before I went to bed, I plugged my phone into these nifty solar chargers that we have. So my cell phone did not die ever. And my alarm clock then woke me up at my normal time. But Friday morning, there's still no damn power. There's nothing going on. Firing up the generator and the shit isn't working. You know, I've had this generator for a long time. I won't get into the details, but it's not friggin' working. I can't get my water to work in the house. So we have some lights in here and there, but nothing like we need, nothing I need to work. I've got people calling me already because it's Friday and I have all these things that I pushed off from Wednesday and Thursday because of my scheduling, pivots, and nothing's happening, right? So the long story short, we finally get somebody out to the house late Friday afternoon. We go through some things. He gets my generator working. So that got us water back and it got things at least able to fire on, half speed. So I still couldn't access the internet. I couldn't access our Wi-Fi. I couldn't get to our server at work. So I spent the afternoon working at my bar in my basement on my iPad, significantly limited in what I can do and what I'm able to accomplish. However, I still got enough done. I was still able to take calls and have some meetings, and there's a little bit of catch-up work to be done next week, but that's life. So my point is, had I not planned my week out in advance, all of these things that come in and karate chop my best laid plans could be devastating to my schedule, to my week, and to my productivity. Because I take the time on, again, I do it on Sunday afternoons. I take the time on Sundays to structure my week to make sure that I'm not overly committed in any given time or spot. That allows me then to have some flexibility when the shit happens. That will always happen because that's just life. It allows me to kind of stretch out reality, re-implant things where I need them in my schedule, and come up with a solution where everything's still getting done and I'm not anxious and stressed out and all of those bad things. So again, guys, structure your week. It sets you up for success. If you take the time to really plan where you need to be, who you need to talk to, what calls you need to make, what emails you need to make, what clients you need to touch, all of these things ahead of time, it will make your week so much easier, so much more productive. And when these little hiccups, if you will, do come into play, it's so much easier to handle them. All right. So that's about all I'm going to do today. That's it. It's structured planning. It's crucially important. Okay. Plan your weeks, plan your days, plan your hours, plan your life. That's all I got, guys. We will catch you next week. We have a sweet interview coming up. It'll be both Dillon and myself, and we have a special guest. Stay tuned for that. We are finally, I hope, getting this equipment dialed in here at HQ2. So we will be able to take calls, to do some other cool stuff. So stay tuned for all of that. We are still launching recorded video episodes on our YouTube channel. The Construction Corner Podcast is the handle there. Please check us out. Give us a like, give us a share, click subscribe. All these things help us to keep growing the show and help keep us producing content that for whatever reason people are still listening to and wanting more of. So that's what I got, guys. Have a fantastic week. We will catch you all next week for an awesome interview. I'm out.